Yo, what up, man? What up? What up? All right. So, some quick post-fight thoughts. Lomachenko, Ortiz. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go live to give you guys my live commentary. I apologize for that, but it's been a crazy, crazy past couple of months. Been running around, but I was watching the fight more or less. I didn't watch it like intently and intensively, but I would say that I watched majority of the fight, kind of in spots being drawled to some action. There were some sequences in the fight that were definitely very entertaining. But before I give you guys my thoughts based off of what I did see, make sure you go ahead and vote in the poll that's live in the chat right now. Let me know how you saw it, right? That's your opportunity to come in. Do you think that it was a robbery? And if you thought it was a robbery, obviously you should be selecting Ortiz. Ortiz won the fight. Was it a draw, or did Lomachenko do enough to pull out the victory? So I'm literally on the way out the door, about to hit the gym. You guys know what it is, man. It's Sunday, well, Sunday afternoon for me now. But I wanted to get the thoughts out there because I don't think I'll have time to do it tomorrow. Make sure as you come in, you hit that like button, get the likes all the way up. You guys know the drill. We got my man Mangus Allen in the building reminding y'all that the first goal is always 30 likes, as always. So let's get it up to 30 likes. We got my man Omega Red. What's good, Omega? You out there sipping on something, bro? Let me know what you out there sipping on, man. I know you got something going on, man. Saturday night. PGH Big Dog also in the building, man. Salute to you. Thanks for dropping by. Like I said, go ahead and get those likes all the way up. All right, before I give my thoughts, just real quickly, we got Lomachenko, who won the fight. 33% says Lomachenko won the fight. 50% says that Ortiz won the fight. So, AKA, they saw a robbery. And then 17% says it was a draw. All right. So, look, like I said, man, if you're just coming in, I was I was multitasking. I had 2 fights up on the screen as I was doing work on the side. I had the Ortiz Lomachenko fight going, and I also had the Jake Paul Silva fight going, which I wasn't paying that much attention to, but it was in the background. And I watched majority of the Ortiz Lomachenko fight. Not every single minute of every round, but I watched most of it. Okay. And I'll tell you this. Number one, first thing I want to put out there is I thought while watching it, I thought that Lomachenko was going to do better. And a few things that caught my attention is it reminded me a little bit of how Teofimo Lopez underestimated Kambosos. Kambosos came in motivated, aggressive, pressing the fight, and Teofimo in that fight was caught off a little off guard. The difference is that Teofimo had to try and figure out a way to get back in the fight using his punching prowess. But Lomachenko's not that type of style, right? He's a boxer. So he was pressed early in the fight, and he had to figure out a way to kind of, outbox Ortiz to try to get back into rhythm. But for me, I saw some ring rust. I saw some underappreciation with Ortiz. A lot of guys, right? These two men were sparring partners. And I find it ironic that everybody was criticizing Wilder for fighting Helenius, who was a sparring partner. And of course, Helenius, everyone was saying he took a dive and all this bullshit. Because they're sparring partners. Well, these two men were sparring partners before. So I'm not seeing that same type of energy in this fight because it looked like to me that Ortiz, rather you thought Ortiz won the fight or not, to me it looked like Ortiz was coming in to press the fight and try to win the fight. So the sparring partner bullshit was thrown out the window, in my opinion. Mike the Reaper in the building was good. Mr. Know-It-All Rants was good. Brown on Box in the building was good. Do me a favor. Do me a big favor and go ahead and get the likes all the way up. We got 28 people in the building, only 10 likes. Don't let the people do me like that, man. Don't let me. I wasn't gonna come live, man. I wasn't gonna go live tonight. Make sure we get the likes all the way up, and make sure we get the votes in the poll. Let the people know what you think. So look, I saw ring rust. I saw a guy who, in Lomachenko, that either thought that Ortiz was going to take it easy on him, or it was going to be an easier fight, or he thought it was another sparring match, or whatever the case was, man. And it took the fight into the deeper rounds where Lomachenko did finally start to find a rhythm. But it's one of those fights where you got the young bull, the young dude with not a lot of championship boxing experience, really pressuring the champ or the ex-champ, right? A guy who, who's been renowned and who has been lifted up to being this great boxer who became a champion with only X amount of fights. And, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. He's had to carry that burden, right? You got the young dude coming in saying like, nah, man, I might have been a sparring partner before, but I'm coming in to win this fight. That was the narrative that I saw in the beginning stages of the fight. Ortiz pressing, being aggressive, scoring punches. He wasn't always effective with his aggression, but he was effective for a lot of the early rounds, leading into the middle rounds. Occasionally, Lomachenko would counter him nicely. I believe it was in the second round. Lomachenko caught him with a nice shot, kind of backed Ortiz up against the ropes a little bit, but Ortiz did well. Ortiz smothered him, tied him up, weathered the storm. And I think a lot of these things that Ortiz did, I think it surprised Lomachenko. I really do. think he was surprised. We got my man Tom peeking in the building. What's good, Tom? Dropping in that super chat. Salute to you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the love and support as always, Tom. We got Teach in the building. What's good with you, Teach? Yeah, I'm on my phone, man. So I would love to read everybody's comments, but it's difficult for me to do it on my phone. So if there is something that you really want to highlight, man, do me a favor. Drop me a super chat so I can highlight it for you. The poll's going. The poll's going wild in the chat right now. 30% of the people says that Loma won the fight. 40% says that Ortiz won the fight, and 30% had it a draw. Right. So it's quite an interesting poll we got going on. Let's see how it all plays out once this live is over. So here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. Let's get to the nitty gritty, as in how I saw the fight and who I thought won the fight, and then I'll get into Lomachenko's performance as a whole. And right now the buzz is what? The buzz is Lomachenko, Devin Haney. If y'all watched the fight, Devin Haney got into the ring. They had a little of an exchange of words. I mean, it's clear as day, whether you like Devin Haney or not. There's a lot of people, I don't like his style. His style is boring. He's not entertaining. He holds a lot. He jabs too much, right? People nitpick and criticize a pure boxer, which I find ironic because it's the sweet science, right? This is not a strongman competition. People praise Lomachenko for being this pure, magnificent boxer, but why don't you give that the same type of accolades to Devin Haney? It makes no fucking sense. But that's neither here or there. That can be another video. Another thing that I've always promoted is fighters getting in the ring and facing off with their future opponent. Something that Bud, Crawford, and Spence never did. That should have been done multiple times. And just never happened. But Devin continues to make it abundantly clear that he's not scared. He walks into the ring. He calls he's faced off against Teofimo in front of everybody. He faced off and went to Australia twice to deal with Kambosos. Now he's in the ring facing off against Lomachenko, right? So whether you like Devin's style or not, I think that it is a disservice to Devin Haney to suggest that the man is scared or ducking anybody. Devin Haney clearly wants all the smoke, and he wants to prove himself. And I'm always going to support a fighter going to a fight, waiting and watching for the fight to end. If the man that you're supposed to fight, everybody's been billing the Lomachenko Devin Haney extravaganza, right? Lomachenko's going to outbox Devin Haney, right? Well, guess what Devin Haney did? He made sure he showed up, and he made sure he got in the ring and told Lomachenko, I ain't scared of you, man. Like, people are trying to build you up. I ain't worried about you, bro. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment. But let me go ahead and get into who I thought I won the fight. Look, and we have 36 people in the building and only 18 likes. That's a discrepancy that I don't want here. All right. This is a boxing family that come in here. You know what I'm saying? Knock on the door, wipe your feet off, come in, and you'll be welcomed to join the table and eat at the buffet. But if you think you're going to come in here and not wipe your feet and wash your hands and think you just have free reign at the table of Divine Sense Boxing, then you came to the wrong place, right? Hit the damn like button. It's free. Takes you 2 seconds. So let me talk about the fight real quick. For what I saw, I would say that I watched 90% of it. There were a few spots here and there that I was distracted doing some other work. I was peeping the Silva and Paul fight here and there as well. But from what I saw, to me, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. It's hard for me to be completely honest and tell you guys who I thought won the fight, because I don't like to do that unless I actually sat down and watched every single minute of every single round. But based off of what I saw, it was a close fight. When the fight was over, the first thing that popped into my head was there should be at least one judge, if not two judges. Well, there should be at least one judge, based off of what I saw, give it to Ortiz. There'll probably be another judge scored a draw, and there might be another judge who gives it to Lomachenko. And I thought that the scorecards will be kind of all over the place. That was my initial feeling. Now, one thing I will tell you guys for certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the 117-111 scorecard that was in favor of Lomachenko is a fucking travesty. Is a travesty. It is disgusting. There ain't no way on God's green earth that Lomachenko scored that many rounds against Ortiz. There's just no way. And I don't even need to watch the whole fight to know that. I don't even know. I don't even need to watch the whole fight to know that there ain't no way Lomachenko did better than Ortiz to that extent. There's no fucking way. There's just no way. Now, if you had Lomachenko, because Lomachenko did come on towards the end of the fight, like from round 9 to 12, he started putting some stuff together. But a lot of that was because Ortiz started to gas out. Ortiz, he's the young bull. He came out extremely aggressive in the beginning parts of the fight, and he started to get tired. And Lomachenko's got that experience going 12 rounds, having to dig deep into fights and things like that, where clearly Ortiz, he expended a lot of energy early, and it kind of bit him in the ass a little bit. If Ortiz was able to maintain the same pace in round 12 that he had in round 1, then for me, it's no question that Ortiz wins this fight. There's no question. But the fact that he did start to burn out and putter out a little bit towards the end, and Lomachenko started to land stuff and keeping Ortiz at bay a bit towards the end, I can see, as Lomachenko, the way he's been billed, the way that he has been branded, the way that everybody wants the Devin fight. Even Bill Haney said on 78 tonight, 78 brought him up on his live. I was watching it before I went live here. Bill said, look, man, as well as Ortiz did, I didn't want Lomachenko to lose, because everybody in boxing wants to see, him against Dev. And so I was a little bit worried. I was like, damn, this dude might have dropped the ball. And I think that Lomachenko definitely underperformed. Now, do I think Lomachenko is better than what he showed tonight? Yeah, he is. He is better. I'll be completely honest. He is better. I just simply think that he's going up against a guy that he just expects to have a cakewalk, to go in there, box. It's my ex-sparring partner. I'm going to go in there, put on a little exhibition, not going to take too much damage. But Ortiz had different ideas. Ortiz had different ideas and forced Lomachenko to dig deep and have to fight those 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds. And he had to put those rounds in the bank. Otherwise, this would have been an Ortiz victory. There's no way that the judges can get away with that type of blatant robbery. Now, unfortunately, it played out. It played out the way that a lot of people wanted it to play out. Lomachenko still, got the victory, which still opens the door for a fight against Devin Haney. But let's not sit here and pretend that Ortiz didn't do his thing. He did more than his thing. He surprised me. He surprised me. I know he surprised Lomachenko. And if you're Ortiz and his team and you're looking at a 117-111 scorecard, you have something to complain about. You have something to be upset about. Now, some people say, oh, well, Divine, it don't matter. Lomachenko got the victory regardless, rather it's 117-111, or if it was closer than that at like 115-113. No, it does matter. It does matter. Okay? Because we continue as boxing fans to let the boxing public and the boxing media and the powers that be we continue to let them know that we're okay with these type of scorecards. We're okay with the 117, 111. How the fuck did Lomachenko win that amount of rounds? I mean, it's mind-boggling, right? If you scored at 114, if you scored it even, okay, maybe you feel like Lomachenko did enough in spots to land cleaner, effective punching. He closed the show at the end, and so it's a draw. Okay, if you feel like Ortiz did enough to edge it out, and he was robbed, I can't get mad at you. I can't get mad at you at that, right? The thing about it is, though, in a fight like this, right? If Lomachenko right now, currently in this fight, like if he was the unified champ, like he was before Teofimo beat him, I would have a little bit more, I guess, sympathy, or I would have a little bit of leeway for Lomachenko because he is the unified champ. You got to go in there as a challenger, and you got to go above and beyond. I do believe in that because as a champ, you get a little bit of a distinguished honor. You get that. I guess you get that nod in some rounds that are close because you're the champ. You've earned that position, right? But Ortiz sold the idea well that I am a real challenger, and the fact of the matter is Lomachenko is not the unified champion right now. So Ortiz doesn't have to go above and beyond. Lomachenko is a former champion. That's what he is. He's a former champ. He's not a current lineal champ or unified champ or none of that. Okay? So he doesn't get that distinguished honor. It should have been a fight that was scored straight up and down as two professional boxers. And like I said, it's not a situation where Ortiz got to go in there and take the belts off the champ. And he's got to go above and beyond, which I agree with. Challengers should have to do that if it goes to the scorecards. But this wasn't the case tonight. This was not the case tonight. Going back to the poll, just to let you guys know, who won the fight? 51% says Loma. So Loma has now taken the lead in the poll. 35% says Ortiz won the fight, and 15% says a draw. Now I'm going to finish off with this last point. Now that people are starting to filter in, if you're coming in late, who do I think won the fight? I didn't watch it in its entirety. I didn't watch every secondary round. I watched the majority of it. I will tell you this: it was a very, very close fight. It's a very close fight, in my opinion, from what I saw. Ortiz surprised me. I know he surprised Lomachenko. And to be honest with you, it could have very easily been a draw, and it could have very easily went one round to Ortiz. I just don't think Lomachenko did enough to win a clear victory. And he sure as fuck did not get a 117-111 type scorecard. Like he didn't deserve that. He did not deserve that for sure. So for me, it was either, from what I saw, should have been a draw, or it should have been one round to Ortiz. And there's no way that Lomachenko deserved a 117-111. That makes me leery and cautious of boxing and their judging criteria and everything as a whole. The favoritism towards Lomachenko. We come out here, not me in particular. I don't really talk about Lomachenko that much, but there are a lot of channels out here that feel some kind of way that Lomachenko gets favoritism. Things are, words are thrown around out there like the complexion for the protection and all this different stuff. I don't get into the politics and that type of extent, but there's a lot of people that feel that way. And when these type of scorecards come out, 117-111, for a man who did not perform at a level that warranted 117-111, you are basically proving all these people's points. You're basically saying, yep, you're right. We are protecting this man. Because when you have these type of scorecards out, you're not helping yourself to make it seem like it's unbiased and a fair judging criteria. Hey, I don't need to come out here and give my opinion about that shit. I don't need to come out here as a content creator and let you guys know what I think on rather Lomachenko's protected or not. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, and it doesn't matter. The 52% of the people who voted and said Lomachenko won the fight. Yo, it doesn't matter if you thought Lomachenko won the fight or not. If you thought he won the fight, cool. But I tell you what, if you think a 117, 111 scorecard makes sense, I got two things to say to you. To quote the great Roger Mayweather, you don't know shit about boxing. And number two, I think you're biased as fuck. And you want to be cool with it. That's what I feel about it. Right? Now, if you want to sit up here and say, I think Lomachenko did just enough. He edged it out right at the end. And, you know, I think he won by a round. We might be able to have a conversation. But if you're cool at 117, 111, well, I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that at all. Shout out to Danny Ramos for the super chat, man. Much love and appreciation, bro. I appreciate the support. Thank you. We have 50 people in here. We should have 50 likes. I mean, how do we not have 50 likes? Right? You come in here, you slip down the little video window, you click the damn like button, right? It's free. I'm not asking anybody to come in here and put in donations like my man Danny and my man Tom. They did it out of the kindness of their heart. The least you can do is hit the damn like button, man. We in here talking about boxing. Are you a true boxing fan or not? That's my question. Loma won by split. 117 to 111 is insane. Yeah. It's crazy. Danny Romo, he goes on to say that fought 12 rounds, but I scored at 115 to 113 Loma. All right. All right. Well, look, man, I'm gonna invite people to come in here and give their thoughts here in just a moment. So if you're not too tired and you're sober enough, because I know a lot of people out there drinking and shit, then you'll be invited to come in here and explain to me and for the audience on how you scored the fight. Right now in the poll, 68 votes, 51% says that they felt Loma won. He did enough to win. 35% says, nah, man, it was a robbery. Ortiz won the fight. 13% said, oh, it should have been a draw. Like I said before, based off of what I saw, it should have been a draw, or Ortiz should have won by at least a round. I think he put a lot of work in the early part of the fight, going into the 9th round, and I thought that he did enough to basically put Lomachenko in a position that he would have to win 9, 10. Sorry, he would have to win 10, 11, 12 clearly, and possibly get a knockdown to sway the fight in his direction. That's what I was feeling in the moment. But I also understand the politics of boxing. And so when the fight was over, I was sitting there thinking, like, I had a feeling the scorecards were going to be crazy. One judge might give it to Loma, one judge Ortiz, and maybe like a draw in there somewhere, because I know how this shit works. And I know how Lomachenko has been billed. Right? Billed as in BILLED, not build like BUILD, right? BILLED. He's been billed to be this fighter that we got to try and protect him if we can. Why? Well, one thing is for sure is they're trying to make the fight with Devin Haney. So like Bill Haney said it, not me. Bill Haney said, man, I was sitting there watching the fight like, yo, Lomachenko is about to drop the ball. He about to drop the ball and fuck up this whole fight with my son Devin, right? He nearly did that. He nearly did that tonight. And that just goes to tell you that Lomachenko did not perform at his peak performance. The Lomachenko, and let me say this as a final point, and then I'll open up the lines. I'll open up the link for people to come in. The performance that Lomachenko put on tonight Whether you thought he won the fight or not. Let's play devil's advocate. We got 51% of the people in the poll saying Lomachenko won the fight, right? All right. My question for you is this then. Do you think that type of performance, like, let's be honest, do you think that type of performance that he put on tonight would beat Devin Haney? Because I've seen Devin Haney twice now fight Kambosos and basically beat the shit out of him for 24 rounds. Now, would Lomachenko beat Kambosos? If I had to bet, if I had to drop a prediction and freestyle it off the top of my head, I would say he probably would. But would Lomachenko beat Kambosos in the same fashion that Devin beat him? That's my question. I think Lomachenko would win the fight, but I don't think he's going to win in the same fashion that Devin won. And that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Now, do I think Devin and Lomachenko is still a good fight, competitive fight? Of course it is. I'm not up here trying to bash Loma. I'm not, there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say about Loma. I'm not that type of dude. Look, when it comes to boxing, I look at it black and white, right? In the sense that, it's straightforward. Okay. Outside of boxing, for me, life is abstract, full of colors, full of possibilities. But for boxing, for me, skills pay the bills. I don't need to dissect it too much. I don't got to reach for shit. I don't got to go into a bag and pull out certain possibilities. It is what it is. Devin being, you know what? I'm not going to even get into that. I'm not going to get into that yet. I'm not going to get into that yet. I'm going to open up. Y'all can come in here, give me your thoughts on how you saw the fight. We'll see if the Lomachenko fans have enough courage to come in here. Let me know. Don't worry about the chat. Let me know why you thought Lomachenko won the fight. Because for me, I think the fight should have been a draw. I think the fight should have been a draw. I don't think Lomachenko did enough. He did good at the end. And the beginning and middle part of the fight, he was being outworked. Yeah, he landed counters here and there, offset Ortiz. Ortiz had to back up a few times and hold on a couple of times. But we didn't see that same Loma. Was like popping combinations, pivot to the side, pop to the side, underneath, uppercut, jab, 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 and putting in a lot of angles and combinations. We didn't see that. I didn't see that from Loma tonight. That's the Loma that they built to face off against Devin. But I didn't see that tonight. I didn't see it. And look, Bill said it himself as well, that everybody calm down. The Lomachenko that we saw tonight won't be the Lomachenko that we would face if when we fight. We expect the best Lomachenko. And I agree with that. Lomachenko definitely underperformed tonight because I think he just thought that Ortiz wasn't going to be this difficult. And he was surprised. And I don't think he'll underestimate Devin to that extent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link into the chat. If I can figure out how I can do it. All right, here we go. All right, so there it is. So the lines are now open. Y'all can come in. I'll leave it open for about, I don't know, man, 15, 20 minutes. I got to go to the gym later. I ain't trying to be here all night and wait people to have the courage to come in and leave their thoughts. This is what I do. Give everybody equal opportunity. Good. All right, so the link's in the chat. If you want to come in, you can come in. You're more than welcome. And if not, I'm just going to finalize my points and keep it moving. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, salute. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And for people that have been a part of the channel for a minute, consider becoming an official member of the channel. That's like a small little $1 donation every month in appreciation for the content and whatnot. Get your official badge, and have access to exclusive videos that the public won't get. Only you'll be able to see it. I usually try to knock one out, every couple of months or so. And it's usually about stuff that's outside of boxing, like my personal view about life shit or whatever it may be. So become a member, have that, and of course have access to custom emojis that you can place into the chat. And just to, what I'm saying, just kind of highlight yourself as being an official member. But look, I'm going to go ahead and finalize my final points here. Lomachenko underperformed, in my opinion. I've seen Lomachenko perform at a much higher level. I think he underestimated Ortiz. I also think the public underestimated Ortiz. I knew Ortiz was a pretty solid fighter coming into the fight. He's not a Devin Haney, but I knew that he is a pretty solid fighter. What we got? Okay. My man. So yeah, that's that. And I feel, like I said, man, I feel that based off what I saw, I think Ortiz edged it out. Now, I saw a few people in the comment section saying, "Oh man, Ortiz, he was active, but he wasn't landing shit." Okay, well, my response to that is this. That might be true. That might be true that the effective aggressiveness wasn't always there. But what was Loma doing about it? Except for like bouncing around and sliding out, he wasn't throwing nothing. And Ortiz was throwing more jabs. He was working on the inside more. He was being assertive. He was pushing and pressing the fight. Now, just because you press the fight doesn't mean you always win. But what it does mean is that if you are the person that is absorbing the aggression, okay, rather it's super effective or not, you got to emphasize that you're sharp, you're accurate, and you're making that man miss and pay more times than not. And I just don't feel like Lomachenko was doing that. He did it at times, but he didn't do it consistently enough for me to be like, oh man, like Lomachenko's really controlling this fight. It kept me at the edge of my seat. Lomachenko got hit with shots tonight that I haven't seen him get hit, I mean, really in a while, or if ever, like shots that he normally doesn't get hit with. He was getting hit with them tonight. So did Lomachenko dominate the fight? Absolutely not. Did Lomachenko do enough to edge it out? I guess that's what's the debate. And that's why we're here. But we got the Demon in the building, man. Demon, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Divine, man? It's Bob Arum gonna get that dude hurt, man. That shit's crazy. He ain't fucking with no young Devin Haney. I don't see it. Like, I don't know what the fuck Bob doing. He must be smoking on that good Cali weed or something, because he gonna get Loma fucked up, man. And that's crazy. I mean, I don't see it no other way. I mean, I don't know how nobody else see it, but Loma getting there with Dev gonna hurt him. And between me and you, honestly, I feel like Kambosos will whoop Loma. Maybe Loma need to fight Kambosos just to see where he at, give him like a little measuring stick or whatever before he gonna fuck around in them woods, man. That's all I got to say. Thanks for the time.
Yeah. Look, I feel like Lomachenko, for me, I don't want to see any measuring sticks. That's just my opinion. You have been telling everybody, and you've been enjoying people telling you that you're the best. And the loss against Teofimo and the loss against Orlando, what was the dude's name? Orlando Salido, where there were just little mishaps. It was unfortunate. It was a little mistake, whatever it may be. But I'm the best, and you've been enjoying the media portraying you as the best. So it's time to prove it, or get your ass beat. Like, I don't want to. I mean, he had this fight because the Ukraine situation. He needed a little tune-up, whatever the case may be. Well, you've got that out of the way now. That's it. There's no more. No Kambosos, none of that shit. For me, it's Devin now, and Devin's earned it. People have been attaching Lomachenko's name to Devin's name for a very long time now. Okay. And everyone's saying that, oh, Devin's pretty good, but he can't fuck with no Lomachenko because, you know, Lomachenko, man, he's got this skill and that skill, and he be pivoting and combinations, and he got defense and speed and all this shit, right? So let's see it then. I'll come out and say, hey, you know what? Maybe it was a tune up. I shouldn't take it too serious. Lomachenko, you know, he underperformed a little bit, but that's okay. You know, he's been on a layoff. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not going to give him any benefit of the doubt when he goes off and faces the music against Devin Haney. Let the best man win. Shit. I ain't trying to be up here like how old is Lomachenko now? He ain't got no time to be bullshitting around. See, I'm tired of these fighters holding on to belts and ex-champions trying to get their feet wet a little bit because I want to make sure that I'm truly ready. You've been around. You've been telling everybody you've been ready. You've used the Ukraine situation as a crutch, as an excuse, or even a legitimate reason, whatever your stance is. But now you're back. You're back now. There's no turning back. And what kind of man are you? Because Devin Haney went into the ring and said, yo, everybody's been saying that you can beat me. Everybody's been saying that, like, I'm second to you. You're the most skilled fighter in the division. I'm second to you. I don't believe that, so let's make it happen. So what kind of man is Lomachenko? Well, we'll see what he's really made of, and whether he takes the fight or not. Now, I hear you, top rank, Bob Arum, and all that shit. But, man, look, these guys, these fighters, right? The walls are closing in on them. And even if you feel like, well, it's Lomachenko, you know, he's protected. He can get away with anything. For a while. And it's been a long while. But eventually, even the Lomachenko fans, the Lomachenko supporters, I mean, what else? What are they going to say? Well, I mean, literally, what do they have to say? If he doesn't fight Devin Haney, he doesn't fight any of the top guys, and he continues to fight the Jamaine Ortiz of the world. Eventually, they're going to pressure top ranked Bob Arum, Lomachenko himself, the team, everything. It's inevitable, bro. It's inevitable. But what ends up happening is, because you got a guy like Lomachenko that people suggest he is being protected, they can wait till he's like 42 years old. And then they're going to throw him in there against Devin Haney. And then they'll say, oh, well, but he's past his prime. See, that's what happens. That's the way boxing works. See, if Devin Haney beats Lomachenko's ass right now, they have no choice but to give Devin his flowers, right? They have no choice to say, damn, maybe Devin, he's that guy. I mean, he beat Lomachenko's ass like that. He basically treated Lomachenko like he did Kambosos. And Kambosos is not even supposed to be on the same level as Lomachenko is, right? They will be forced to give Devin his props. But see, they don't want to do that. They're gonna wait it out, right? See, that's the thing, Demon and everyone else in the chat. If they go out and fuck around and give him a Kambosos fight, and he edges that out. He edges it out like he did this fight. And then he fights somebody else who's like a top 7 guy, top 6 guy. He gets like, 4 or 5 more belts under him. By that time, Devin Haney's doing his thing, getting victories, still undefeated, defending belts, whatever the case may be. Then there'll be nowhere to go for Lomachenko. There'll be nowhere to go. They'll make the fight when Lomachenko's like 42 years old. Devin at that time is still going to be, in his mid-30s or whatever it may be, early 30s. And he's going to beat the fucking brakes off Lomachenko. But then they'll say, oh, well, Lomachenko, he's not the same anymore. He's old, he's slower, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's how this shit works, man. But you know what? It's not going to be Devin Haney's fault. It's not going to be Devin Haney's fault. Devin Haney has already done his part. More than his part. More than what a lot of fighters are willing to do in this day and age. He showed up at the fight. When the fight was over and Lomachenko got his hand raised, he went into the ring and said, yo, what's good? What's good? We fighting or not? there's not much else the man can do. So rather Lomachenko fights him or not, Devin Haney has done his part. The ball is in Lomachenko's court now, and it's in Bob Arum's court and Top Rank's court now. I'm not going to hold my breath. And if you're Devin Haney, hey, don't hold your breath either. You did what you got to do. We'll sit back. We'll wait a little bit. But in the meantime, there's other fish to fry.
Divine, can I say one more thing? Let me say one more thing. And I'm not even trying to be funny, but you should call Devin Haney Russia right now. Because, boy, when he get done with that, when he get his hands on that man, it's over with. It's over. It's over. It is over for this dude. We all seen it. Like, oh, man, it's over for this dude. Like, I'm willing to put a couple thousand on this one. It's over for Mr. Lomachenko. I'm even hoping Vegas put their money on Loma. I'm praying they put their money on Loma. It's over for this guy. It's over for this guy, man. And let me go and get to this little Halloween party, man. There's some little bitches up in here and shit, man. I got to get up out of here, man. I'm going, man.
Yes, sir. Handle your business. But yeah, I mean, for me, like, the time is now. I don't feel like Lomachenko has time to bullshit around and waste time. He's got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself. What's up, man? I'm not sure who your mastermind. What's good, man? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good, bro. What's good with you? What's on your mind?
I like your take on this fight, man. It's like, I see Lomachenko proved to you undefeated don't mean nothing because it's all about who you beat, right? Because Lopez could go in there, he lost to Cambosis. If he come back and whoop Tank, he right back on top. Just like Lomachenko, he lost a couple, but if he come back and beat Devin Haney, he right back on top. That shows you, like you just said, you don't need no buffering. You don't need tune-ups. Just get in there with the top guys, man. You win some, you lose some. But I think I agree with you. I think the youngin, he outpointed him. He got him by a little bit. Ortiz.
Yeah. So you think that what would you say? Like, would you be okay with the draw?
No, I think Ortiz deserved that, man. I think they gave it to him out of emotion, out of him coming out of the war. It was politics. You know what I mean? It's the love. And you got to give that guy Bob Arum, get an old school. He got to be the best promoter, you know what I mean? Because look where he got Lomachenko, man. Greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali. Imagine if he did that for Terrence Crawford. Crawford would be Lomachenko. So you got to give the old man props for being the best promoter. You know, he won by split decision over Don King. Don King got a little long in the tooth. They got him out of there. Now you got Bob, put him up there number one. But I think Lomachenko he lost this, but I think he should have won the Orlando Salido fight. I think he edged that one out. So like I say, you win some, you lose some. Because remember, Orlando fight was close. Remember?
It was very close. It was very close. Even the Teofimo Lopez fight, I think Teofimo won it, but Teofimo started fading at the end, and Lomachenko was starting to come on. If it was a 15-round fight, Lomachenko could have edged that out. And it's similar to what happened tonight. Ortiz started strong. He put a lot of rounds in the bank, in my opinion. He did well in the middle rounds. And then Lomachenko started to get a rhythm around 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's why there's controversy, because people feel like he closed it strong. But even if you give him rounds 9 to 12, that's 4 rounds. It's still not enough. I mean, even if you give him a round somewhere like round 3 or round 5, that's only 5 rounds.
Yep. And it's guys rare like you though. You called it down the middle. That's what I be looking for, the non-biased YouTube boxing analysis. This is my first time coming up on your channel. I say, oh, this guy he cutting it straight down the middle. He no bias. He just objective with it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And but I want to tell you, reference the Lopez Lomachenko fight to the Hopkins Jamaine Taylor fight. Remember, Jermaine Taylor was scared of, I mean, Hopkins was scared of Taylor power, just like Lomachenko was scared of Lopez power. That's why he didn't throw any punches the first half of the fight, just like Bernard Hopkins. They both lost because they started off the first half of the fight too slow. Hopkins lost his title, and Lomachenko lost his titles the same way because they were scared of the power, the explosiveness of a young Jermaine Taylor and a young Teofimo Lopez, big right hands.
And that's the way that boxing works. And I agree, because then, not too much longer after that, what happened? Teofimo underestimates Kambosos, and Kambosos wasn't scared of the power. Kambosos went in there and fought fire with fire. And it ended up dropping Teofimo. And see, this is why boxing is what it is. This is why when you got fighters like Floyd Mayweather and the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Marvin Haglers, all these great fighters of the past, one big reason on why they're great, it is not just their skill. The skill is what it is. So there's a lot of skillful fighters that have 6 losses on their record, right? There are people there are boxers in the Hall of Fame right now that got 9 losses on their record. The skills are there, but what makes the all-time greats above the Hall of Famers, all-time greats, are those who can, like, when you watch it, you know who the clear victor is. They know what they got to do to make it clear and decisive. Every great fighter has been in close fights, but the majority of the fights, if you look at their resume, clear and precise victories.
Right.
And rather that's knocking your opponent out, which is obviously the easiest way to get a victory, to secure a victory, or just outpointing your opponent to the point where there's just not much room to give the benefit of the doubt to the opponent, right? That's what all-time great fighters do. And for me, I see those ingredients with Devin Haney. He's still. I'm going to say this about Devin Haney. People forget how young this man is.
23?
20 or 24, I think. But, you know, he's got a bright future ahead of him. And look how skilled he is already.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that they look at Devin, they see a grown man. And he is a grown man. But he's a young, grown man with another 10 years, at least 10 more years to go in this sport, right? He's going to continue to get better and better and better. And when people say, oh, well, you know, he ain't got no power, or oh, he don't throw enough combinations, or he holds too much, or he does this, he does that. Well, look, first off, nobody's done enough to debunk that yet. You complain about his clinching, nobody can get around it.
People knock his ass out.
He jabs too much. Well, nobody's figuring out a way to get past the jab. That's not Devin's fault, right? So you got all these things that people nitpick, but guess what? Eventually, Devin Haney, as he continues to grow and evolve, and his body continues to fill in, he's going to get that power. See, the one thing that Devin Haney and a lot of people compare Devin Haney and Floyd. They have a lot of similarities: defense, you know, boxing IQ, jab, all those. They have some similarities, but there are differences. The main difference is this: Floyd started at the lower weight classes as Pretty Boy Floyd, knocking dudes out. Okay, he was fast, powerful. He took some pages out of Roger Mayweather's book. Roger Mayweather was an aggressive fighter, knocking guys out. People forget Floyd's dad was in prison, so he was training with Roger. And Roger, don't give up. Roger's like, go beat this dude's ass. Fuck all that. Go whoop his ass. That's how Roger was. So Devin hasn't had that early in his career. Devin is basically the reverse. Devin is Money Mayweather, defensively sounds, picking his shots, countering, making sure that he's prepared for 12 rounds, and winning the fight decisively based off of skills and boxing IQ. But guess what's going to happen? That shit's going to flip. As he continues to gain confidence,
Pretty boy.
he's going to turn into pretty boy. And he's going to start hurting dudes. Like,
but I want to give you this analogy though, and I want to put this in your computer bank. Devin Haney is okay on the movie side. He's Apollo Creed. He's not respected by his peers because of the way he came up through the Mexican ranks, right? So that's why you had guys trying to, block him out. Lopez didn't want him. Tank didn't want him. Ryan Garcia, they discredit him. But they want to, like they said, they want to do everything but fighting him. So he's Apollo Creed. They looking like you didn't earn it here. And Tank Davis is Rocky 3. Mr. T, remember? He's fighting the guys like, you can't win, Rock. They won't put him in there with the to see how he'll do against the Lomachencos, the Lopez, the Devin Haney's. He's a star. Tank Davis, the best fighter in the world. See, he's Rocky Balboa Part 3. Remember that?
yeah.
Remember Clubber Lang was the #1 contender, but his trainer was like his trainer didn't even have confidence. So I think you have a team around Tank that didn't have confidence. You've seen him blatantly scared of Lomachenko as a young fighter. Am I wrong?
There's a lot of we've definitely probably got some Tank fans in here, but I mean, for me, I think Tank is a phenomenal talent, but he has shown signs here and there of, what word do I want to use? Being cautious.
Yeah,
that's putting it politely. Okay, and it is what it is. Blame it on Floyd Mayweather, his promoter. Blame it on, it's not the right time, or he doesn't know if he's 140 or 135. Well, it's like you can fight Mario Barrios, who's fucking 5'10", who's a big ass dude.
Yep.
You can fight him, but you can't fight, somebody else like similar to his size that is much more of a threat than a Mario Barrios.
Divine says, can he beat Josh Taylor in a 12-round fight after watching his performance against Barrios?
Well, in my opinion, Josh Taylor has Jack Catterall problems. I wasn't impressed by that fight. And if he fights the way he fought against Jack Catterall, I think Tank beats him.
Okay.
But prior to Jack Catterall, if you take that fight out, then I would have said Josh is just a little bit too skilled, lengthy, good boxing IQ. He'll keep Tank at bay. Now, you may say, oh, well, you don't want to judge one fight after another. The way he fought Jack is not the way he'll fight Tank. That is true, but this is boxing. You're only as good as your last performance. That's the way it is.
Right.
Right now, Devin Haney beat the dog shit out of Kambosos. He's riding the wave of superiority right now. Everybody's looking at Devin Haney saying, yo, I don't know if I like him or not, but what I can say about him is he's riding the wave of success, and this young man is confident. What are people saying about Lomachenko right now? Well, I mean, he kind of won. I mean, did he win? Like, the confidence is not there. So
you do think he could so you think he can cash in on the lottery? Like, is his team the best? Do you think Ryan Garcia is an easy victory for Tank Davis?
I don't want to say easy, but Ryan is a legit. I think, and listen, Ryan annoys the shit out of me. Okay, he's when I listen to him talk and the things that he says and does, it reminds me of a woman, and it just irritates me. But he's legitimately skilled. Okay, he is legitimately skilled. He does have legitimate power. He does go to the body. He's probably one of the best body punchers in the division, in my opinion, along with Shakur and some others. But I just think that Tank will hit Ryan was something that he won't see. I think
Okay.
Tank is too unorthodox for Ryan. Ryan is going to fight straight up and down, come forward, rip, just try to walk him down, impose his size. He'll have success. You'll see Tank possibly in a little bit of trouble, trying to weather the storm and tie up Ryan if he does get pressured to the rope. But eventually, the one thing that's underestimated, in my opinion, about Tank is Tank has this like uncanny ability in that southpaw position to kind of like time you, and we've seen it how many times now where he just like dips his head and loops that left hand over, and fighters don't see it. It's like boom, Leo Santa Cruz, Rolly Romero. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Barrios, that left hand just somehow gets in there every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see Ryan having the. He's got good reflexes and he tries to showboat and he's good, but he's not like Devin Haney good. To be always defensively minded to avoid that unorthodox, because Kambosos is unorthodox, and Devin Haney painted the blueprint on how to deal with an unorthodox fighter, and Kambosos was trying to go southpaw and shit, and do all kinds of crazy shit.
So
Devin Haney kept him behind the stick, and hit him with right hands. Ryan doesn't fight that way. Ryan gets a bit confident. He lands a big punch. He wants to be a finisher. And I think the fact that if he hurts Tank and Tank buckles or goes up against the ropes, he doesn't know anything else but to try to finish it. He doesn't have that pause button to kind of be like, kind of like how Bivol had against Canelo, where he knew that I'm not going to fall into Canelo's trap, because I think he hurt Canelo a few times, and Canelo was up on the ropes and was like, come on. Because what does Canelo want to do? Canelo wants to catch and then shoot. And catch you with something you don't see. Bivol was smart enough to be like, nah, man, we're going to fight right here in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
Ryan doesn't have that, right? Ryan's like, oh, I heard him. I'm going to come after him. And he comes forward with his hands down and his chin up. And that's what I think Tank is just going to load up. Boom.
See?
And we've seen Ryan get hurt before.
Now Divine says, you see my thing? That's why I'll compare him to Rocky 3. Now, the question I have for you, his team, do you think his team is smart enough not to put him in there with the Devin Haney, Lopez, and Lomachenko? That's the key to his success. We're not going to even take the risk, because I seen him speak out of his own mouth how he was too young to fight Lomachenko. I think that's the genius in Mayweather Promotions by handpicking him. Barros. The guy, his best fight he ever had was against a 126 guy. What's the guy name he beat? And he knocked out the 126 guy at 130.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Forgot his name. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one that was down there with Riggin down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Tank probably never lose if he stayed with Mayweather, because you said yourself you think they could pick Josh Taylor now because of his last performance. But how risky is it to fight Josh? Because you win that, you undisputed 140. And now you proving your bang for your buck. Just that's what you got to do. Get them undisputed. But Tank is saying that the titles don't mean nothing now since Devin got them. They devaluing the titles.
It is what it is what it is, man. I mean, look, we sit up here and we nitpick fighters for not fighting each other. It becomes a routine, a broken record. We can pull our fucking hair out and age by 10 years every single time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got dudes on here that are cutthroat as fuck when they talk about Spence and Crawford and why they can't fight. And now Crawford's going to go fight somebody else who's not even ranked in the top 5, and everybody's getting upset. And Bud's a duck, and Bud this and Bud that. And then now it's like, who's Spence going to fight? So now you're pulling your hair out wondering, oh, well, it looks like Spence is going to be forced to fight Thurman. Well, we don't want to see him fight Thurman because Thurman's not the same fighter. But he may not have the choice but to fight Thurman.
Yep.
So who's going to be blamed? Is Spence to blame, or is Bud to blame? So it's a repetitive cycle.
And that's what you said at the beginning.
it's like dealing with females, right?
Yep.
I tell my boys all the time, they out here stressing over a female. Man, I try to text this bitch, bro. I call her, I buy her shit, I take her out to the movies, dinner. Man, like I do all this shit for her, man, and this bitch don't text me back. What the fuck? And she out here fucking all these other dudes. I know she fucking. And I'm like, you got evidence? No, it's just, it's just a feeling. See, that's the thing. All motherfuckers caught in your feelings, you assuming shit. The more you assume, the darker you go into the shadow realm. Right? So here it is. I tell all my boys, right, when they're dealing with females, I said, yo, guess what, bro? You want to hear something funny? You want to hear something? It sounds so simple and crazy, but no, let me tell you. If she like you, bro, she gonna let you know. And if she like you, she be sucking your dick right now. That is the fact. So why are you overextending yourself? I give you a little bit of something. Now it's your turn. If you don't want to return that favor, then I'm out. Shit, I got other fish out here that I can capture. Yeah. See, that's the way boxing is. As boxing fans, we approach like fighters and the politics of boxing, all that shit, like as men approach females, right? Is if you overinvest, you overanalyze, you're overly critical, you will get stressed the fuck out. Then you start getting aggressive. And then it's like, that's why we have these little fucking wars on YouTube and shit, because people overinvest in fighters because they want something to be a certain way. The divine sense. I'm a distinguished gentleman. I've been around traveling the world for the better part of 15 years. I've been there and done that. I don't waste my energy and time with people who don't give me that same energy. You understand what I'm saying?
Intelligent. That's intelligent. And that's what you was telling the last caller about how it always plays out to what you just said. Spence versus Thurman. Like you said, when he said, remember the last caller said he want to see him fight Cambosa? You like, hell no. Fuck that. That's when I became a fan of your channel. I'm like, oh, see, he talking real boxing. This is the boxing you talking go back to Jack Dempsey. You hear me? Back in them days. That's real. Let's see who the best is, dog. So that's what Devin Haney is doing. He's Clubber Lang. He's forcing you to fight him. Cambosa's offered him a contract he knew he wouldn't sign, and he still signed it. He signed it so quick, Cambosa's had to wait to sign it. Like, damn, he really signed it? Lawyer, look at this. So Devin, sure. Like I said, he gon' just like he forcing Lomo. Lomo didn't want him neither. He was like, he's born, he's young. He didn't want him neither. But politics got him in there. That's the same way he's gonna force Tank Can. He's gonna be up in there. I go to your fight. What's up? Let's make it happen.
That all you can do as a man is do what you can do. Do all that you can do and make peace with it. You can't go above and beyond and make this person happy and at the same time try to make other people happy. I mean, do what you need to do within your means and have peace that if it doesn't happen, you can go back 20 years from now and say, man, shit, I did everything I could. I mean, I went through the fights. I called them out. I put them on Twitter. I went on camera. I did everything that I possibly did to try to make the fight. And I see the dude in the chat, Zach Christ or whatever the fuck you pronounce your name. You're basically proving my point, bro.
Yep. What'd he say in the chat?
Up in the chat, trying to pick a fight. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm
emotionally invested.
I'm not comparing hooking up to fighting, bro. I'm saying, and let me break it down for you elementary, because maybe you've had a few drinks tonight. Listen, as boxing fans, we get invested in fighters, yes or no? We invest in fights that we want and fighters to be successful, or sometimes fighters that we want to see go and have a downfall and see their demise. We invest our time, our money into that. That's exactly what we do as men with females. Tell me I'm fucking lying. We invest our energy, we invest our time, we invest our emotions, and we fucking put money into these bitches out here. That's what we do. So it's, as a man, we have to be smarter than that and know where to put your energy, know where to put your time, know where to put your money. guess what? Right now, I'll give you a perfect example because Zach might be confused. Right now, where am I going to invest my emotions, my time, and my money in regards to boxing? That's Devin Haney. Because
Yep.
Devin Haney's proven to me that he wants to fight everybody. When I see
That's
Devin
it.
Haney go to a ring and say, "Oh, everyone's saying you're better than me, bro, but I don't believe it. So let's get it on." That gives
Yeah.
me confidence as a boxing fan that this man is trying to fight for legacy. He wants to be mentioned amongst the names, like my man on here said before, is
Roger
amongst
Mayweather, Shane Mosley.
the Sugar Ray Robinsons and all these great, the Henry Armstrongs, all the great fighters. Devin Haney cares about legacy, and to me right now, he's showing that. Whether you like him and his style or not is irrelevant. But my question is, how many fighters right now are doing what Devin Haney is doing in regards to talking the talk and then willing to walk the talk?
Right. Zero,
Tell
like you
me.
said,
I'll wait.
zero.
I'll wait.
Is zero. I'm gonna tell you the number. Is zero. He is the man of the time. We looking at our time, 2022. We still alive. We've been in this boxing game our whole life, right? We have privilege to be possibly witnessing the greatest of all time. If Crawford beats Spence, then he goes up and beat Charlo, he outdoes Floyd Money Mayweather as the greatest. He will go down as better than Sugar Ray Robinson, better than Floyd Money Mayweather. This is how close we is to supreme legacy. Devin Haney, he goes up and beat Josh Taylor. That's two-time undisputed. You still, Mayweather is the best right now, the greatest of all time, but his record still is touchable. Don't look at him like he can't be beat. No, you could outdo Money May because you young. You see what I'm saying? Devin Haney
So,
knows he goes up to 140, get that Josh Taylor, that's two undisputed. Terrence Crawford, no. If he could get past Spence and then get past Charlo, you retired as supreme legacy, #1 undisputed greatest fighter of all time.
and he's got the time to do it. And that's what people need
Thank
to
you.
understand. The upside for Devin Haney is almost unfathomable. Like it's hard to imagine that this man has easily 10 years left of his career and he's just getting started.
And you
He's
know his
literally
hardest opponent, his toughest opponent is gonna be between Lopez and Tank Davis because of their big power. They could take you out at any time, I believe.
and every boxer throughout history, let me be more specific. Every pure boxing style throughout boxing history, whether it's Willie Pep or Pernell Whitaker or Floyd Mayweather or Larry Holmes,
Yep.
boxers that displayed the pure boxing ability, using the jab, using ring IQ, always prepared to go 12 rounds. These type of fighters will always be criticized, rather past, present, or future, on
Yep.
rather they took on the biggest risks against the heaviest punchers.
Right.
Because some people like to watch a boxing match. Some people would have loved a dream match of Floyd and Pernell Whitaker. That would have been
Mm.
a dream match made in heaven as far as a boxing display. But majority of boxing fans throughout the history of the sport, they want to see blood. They want to see pain. They want to see knockouts. They want to see a stylistic matchup that is intriguing, right?
Mhm.
AKA Cassius Clay, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, right? These
Yep.
stylistic matchups that make you have those competitive juices flowing, right? So Floyd Mayweather, when you look at his career, did he fight any big punchers? Well, yeah, he did. He
Yep.
fought Jose Luis Castillo. He fought Corrales. He fought Maidana. He fought De La Hoya. He fought a lot of, maybe not the craziest, biggest punchers, but he straight up fought fighters that had more than a 60% KO ratio.
Yep.
So Devin Haney right now, he's so young in his career, is going to be defined because of the style that he has. He's going to have to face some monsters if he truly cares about putting his name above the greats, or at least compatible and alongside them. Because one thing we have to say about Sugar Ray Robinson, this motherfucker fought everybody. He fought Jake LaMotta 5 fucking times.
Mm.
He fought
Jake gave him that first loss though.
And he fought Carmen Basilio like 3 or 4 times. Like, there's no question that Sugar Ray Robinson took on all the toughest challenges, all the toughest fighters that had granite chins, that were able to take punishment from Sugar Ray Robinson like to an insane level. They were able to just absorb it, right?
Would you put Larry Holmes at the same level? Did he take on all comers?
Larry Holmes is definitely an all-time great heavyweight. I put heavyweights in a league of their own.
Okay.
Just they're heavyweights. You know, I don't like to compare heavyweights with a welterweight. Or
I'm talking about far as just fighting anybody. It didn't matter who the person was.
100%. Larry Holmes is 100%. He's up there with Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, all those guys. They're all cut from the same cloth. Definitely an all-time great heavyweight.
Yeah, his jab. I think he had the best jab of all time, Larry Holmes.
Oh yeah, he had a bazooka jab.
Yeah,
sure.
Him and Ike Biabucci. Remember that jab?
Yeah.
Woo!
But you're a heavyweight, you know, like if you got a good jab, you can do a lot of damage. So Devin Haney, at some point, he's got to fight these rugged, tough, granite chin, hard punchers to really cement his legacy. So yeah, I mean, you want a Tank Davis on your resume. You want a Shakur Stevenson on your resume.
Hold on, now you're going too far. Did you say Shakur Steve? Come on now, Tupac is too much to put on that. Let Tupac do his thing. Y'all can reign together. You got to do him like Charlo brothers, the twins.
There ain't no love in the sport, bro.
I feel you.
There ain't no love in the sport. I mean, right now it's fine. Right now it's fine. They doing their thing and they can be boys and all this different. But eventually, that curtain starts closing. Yep. Now imagine this: Devin Haney and Shakur in the next 5 years are undefeated at like 38-0. Let's just throw out a number. They're like 35 to 38-0 in the next 5 years.
Okay.
They've cleaned up the divisions. There's nothing left.
Yep. You know, you're exactly right. And they can't avoid each other at that point.
And they're around the same age. They're similar weight classes. They both can move up in weight classes. They can meet anywhere. They can meet at welter. They can meet at super lightweight. Like, who knows where they can end up in the next 5 years or whatever it may be when they're both close to 30 years old in their prime.
And we're going to have the same exact problem we having with Spence Crawford. I think the public don't want to look at the two brothers fighting like back in the 80s. I think it like switched over. I think that's the problem. It's hard to put up the money from the corporates because you got two brothers. A lot of time you bringing in that other country. And that other country is, in Mexico, they've been spending a lot of money. So I think that's the problem we having with that. That's why you had the Porter, Devon Alexander fight early, because when they get big, they don't nobody really want to put up the money for the two brothers like back in the Sugar Ray Leonard Hearns days. I think that it switched up, and you got to thank Manny Mayweather for that, for fighting all them people overseas, and he trained the boxers to think like that.
At the end of the day, it's like this: the Charlo brothers are one thing because that's blood. That's blood, and they're not just brothers; they're twin brothers. That's a whole nother level,
right?
But at the same time, it's like I imagine myself in a situation. Doesn't matter what sport, and people say, "Oh, well, it's boxing." You don't want to hurt your best friend. It's not like playing football or basketball. But I'm a competitive motherfucker. Now, I got a brother. Me and my brother, we be fighting like we're trying to kill each other all the time. No, we just, we got boxing gloves, and it always starts off cool, and then something gets heated, and next thing you know, someone's getting punched in the face, and then you're brothers, you fight. You know what I mean? Do we love each other? Yeah, but we're both competitive. Now,
But that's why y'all got to stay out the ring, because man, y'all. I mean, just think about the knockout though, man. That's what
yeah,
you don't want.
it's hard to imagine it when you look from the outside.
Okay.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Now that's brother, right? And I'm trying not to get too like blood brothers is a whole nother topic. But if you let's say you grow up with somebody and you got a boy and you played sports together, you're always like either on the same team or you never had to face off against each other. It's just the way things happen. And you just, but you're really close, right? Now, at some point in time, as you both are phenomenal athletes, you might have to face off against each other. So it comes to me when I look at it, right? So I got a boy, right? I know he's good. He knows that I'm good. I know him like he knows me. Like you will be asked a question at some point. How much does it matter to you to be the best? Or are you willing to share being the best with somebody else?
Right. Like
that's
the
what
Charlos, Klitschko brothers. Same way, like you said. But yeah, as a friend, I agree with you. We gotta break bread together because we friends and we are professionals. So I want your family to eat just like you want my family to eat. So I think as friends, that's how we gonna do. We gonna get in there, and we gonna be gentlemen with it though. We gonna be
Wilder just got done knocking out his best friend.
Yep.
So it's just something that has to happen sometimes. Like you said. I'm in your, we're brothers. We love each other, but right now you're in my way. You're in my way to secure legacy or to feed my family or to take the next step. And I can't prevent you, or I can't allow you to prevent me from accomplishing that. So tonight we got to do what we got to do. And, that's why I get so angry when people suggest that Hellenius took a dive.
Oh yeah, you can see that. Hey, I know Divine Sense got way too much sense. He seen that. You watch too much boxing. You know fixed fights and you know real fights. I know you too slick to fall for that one.
My thing is this, bro. Like, I mean, look, you're basically trying to convince not to open up that can of worms again, but just to solidify the point of what we're talking about. Hellenius, everyone says, "Oh yeah, but Hellenius and Wilder, man, they're friends, man. That's why they'll rig the fight." Because we're they don't want to hurt each other so much. Well, that sounds like an oxymoron, because you're basically suggesting that Hellenius will put his face out there to be punched by the most devastating puncher of this entire generation and one of the most devastating punchers of all time.
Yep.
Of all time.
So I agree.
That Hellenius must be completely out of his fucking mind to say, hey, I'm going to lunge forward and I'm going to put my face and you just punch it. Just try not to hurt me. Try not to hurt me too much.
Right. And this talking from, this from experience being in the ring. Like you said, when you talk about a fixed fight, you got to give them a reference. Bruce Seldon, Mike Tyson. That's a fixed fight. When the punch don't land, like you just said, you're not going to put it out there to get hit. It's going to be a glancing blow or something you could fake. Just like you said, you're not going to, just like if somebody gave you $50,000 just to fall flat on your face on the concrete, you're not going to be able to do it without flinching. It's not humanly possible. It's just like you said, you got self-preservation. If we going to fix it, we going to fix it. Not by letting you knock me out for real. It's going to be a fake knockout.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's two warriors facing off. And it's not the first time in history where these things have happened. I mean, imagine in the gladiator days where gladiators had to enter the arena. And you're training and living with men that you become friends with.
Yep.
Because you're training and living with them every day. And then one day, good old Caesar and his fucking evil ass, he comes over and says, hey, guess what? I want the two best friends to fight. and I want you two to fight to the death because that's what's going to entertain the mob. And if you don't fight to the death, and we know that you guys are trying to take it easy on each other, then we're gonna like throw you to the fucking lions.
Yep. So
We got to do what we got to do, man. I mean,
when you get in the ring with your brother, it's like you're sharpening. It's sharpening steel. You know what I mean? It's like you're doing it for learning purposes. That's the you're not going and like you're saying you're doing it for rec and for learning. For when I do get into it for real, I'm ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's
so,
it.
But like you said, in training, sometimes something might happen and we might get into it in the ring. But we're not fighting each other because we don't like each other. We're fighting each other because we love each other and trying to, sharpen steel, getting our talents right, getting our defensive skills together, or right hands, jabs, all that. Because I think you put it straight when you said these guys have to fight each other, but Devin Haney is the man that's going to make it happen. He's going to the fight. He's going but I want to ask, do you think Crawford could retire as the greatest of all time if he gets past Spence and beat Charlo? Do you think that'd be the greatest fighter of ever?
Greatest fighter of all time. I mean, that's a strong statement.
3 undisputed. I mean, it's nobody can say he did what he did. That's a hell of a resume. 3 undisputed.
It is, but I mean, we have to consider that that's a lot of what ifs. Okay, but if we were going to play the what if game, then say that okay, he beats Spence, and he beats Charlo. More than likely, both of those fights, if not, well, at least one of them, if not both, will probably be a rematch. More than likely.
Okay.
You would have to do it twice. And if he does that, being undisputed in 3 different weight classes, I would say that he's got a very, very strong argument.
Yeah, but like I said, Mayweather and him.
Oh,
yeah, he mentioned his name.
I don't think Mayweather ever became undisputed.
No, that's what I'm saying. He already outdid him. He already outdone him. So I'm saying now,
but Mayweather did win more weight classes though in total. So it's very subjective on how you look at how do we put names above other names? Is it how many divisions? Like Manny Pacquiao is another one. Like he was a multiple weight class champion. He was unified, but I don't think he ever came undisputed either. And Manny Pacquiao started way down there, like at 120 or some shit. And he worked.
That means you running from fights, divine sense. If you don't become undisputed, it's somebody you duck in the meantime by skipping the weight.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. There is strategic movement that you got to make, but undisputed is not the end all to be all either. Because look at Canelo. He's now undisputed at 168. Who has he beaten at 168 other than Caleb Plant?
Yep. Great.
He hasn't cleaned a division, but technically speaking, he's undisputed. So you don't want to collect. See, here's my. If you want to know what's divine sense's standard, if you want the golden standard should be, if you're undisputed, majority of those belts should be taken off of, if not all of the belts, should be taken from the champ, not a vacant title. That is right. That is number one. Okay. And if you beat if Crawford beats Spence, he's beating the unified welterweight champion to take all 3 belts.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I think he's got 3 belts, right? So You take all of them. That is a legitimate, undisputed champion right there. That's what undisputed means. You are undisputed. Nobody can dispute your reign because you took the belts from the reigning champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But a lot of times when these undisputed fighters come out, they're fighting for vacant titles, or they're, you know, a guy that was like 175, but then he goes down to 168 for just one fight, gets a belt, and then he loses the belt. He never really stayed at the weight class. He just came down or went up, grabbed the belt, and then he lost the belt. It doesn't give it as much luster. But to your point, that is exactly what would make the victory over Spence so magnificent, is because Spence has been he's been the king at 147 for a very long time.
Yep.
And he's been a unified champion for a very long time. So by beating Spence, and hopefully convincingly, no controversy, if you beat him convincingly, then that is literally the definition of undisputed. Literally. Yep. Same thing if you go up and beat Charlo. Charlo has been dominating at 154 for a very long time. And if you beat Charlo, that is the definition of being undisputed, right? So to your point, we have to use that word lightly, but also understand what the word means. If that does happen, then yes, it makes an extremely strong case to be mentioned amongst the names like Sugar Ray Robinson, simply because not only was he a multiple-time undisputed champion, but he took the belts away from current reigning champions who were dominating those divisions for a long time.
Yep. And that's what make it so hard to make the fight, because of what you got on the line. Like, you really know this is I think personally, I believe Crawford Spence will be the greatest championship fight of all time. Going past Hagler Hearns, going past Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran won. I think Sugar Ray Leonard, I think this is gonna be the greatest fight. Like, it's gonna be like Frazier Ali in '73. Because you got two guys that's on a collision course and they confident. So this is the best matchup I've seen since Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's one of the best fights. I mean, it's along the lines of Pacquiao Mayweather as well. All these great fights, these legendary fighters coming together. I agree with you. I try not, but like I said earlier, bro, I try not to get too invested in it because they be fucking with my emotions.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
But I think with the Pacquiao, I think your Pacquiao analogy, I disagree with that, because I think most people knew Mayweather would win that fight because of the number of losses Pacquiao came into the ring with. So I think this is going to be more 50-50. But if you did a poll back with Pacquiao, that was more, like you said, emotionally invested. They wanted to see Mayweather win. But in their mind, they knew Mayweather would. I mean, they wanted to see Mayweather lose. But in their mind, they knew he was too superior. And Pacquiao had tasted defeat too many times.
I think that's the point, that what you just said is the most valid point, is that it wasn't so much that people thought that Pacquiao was going to win. I mean, there were, to be fair, like legitimate people out there that thought Pacquiao was going to win. But for the most part, it was more of people just wanted to see Mayweather lose.
Yep.
And if they were going to choose a guy that had the best chance to see Mayweather lose, it was Pacquiao. Because when the negotiations first happened in 2009 and 10, Pacquiao was one of the best in the sport. I mean, he was reigning champion. He fought Marquez multiple times, Morales multiple times. I mean, he had a hell of a resume, and he had a hell of a case. And he did offer some tangibles that made it interesting, being a southpaw, having really good hand speed, being unorthodox, the willingness to engage and trade fire with fire, being durable, the energy levels, all those different things. So it made it very appealing. But as time went on and the fight kept getting pushed off, then it became increasingly like, okay, Manny Pacquiao slowing down. He's not the same. He's not the same.
Right.
Mayweather's consistent. Even though he was older than Pacquiao, he saved his body better.
Yep.
A Pacquiao in 5 years of trying to make the fight happen probably fought like 7 or 8 times. A Mayweather probably fought 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So Mayweather saved his body and was much more strategic about it. So when they finally did face off, it was very clear that Mayweather, even though he was older, was just sharper, more prepared, had a better game plan,
Yep.
and put on a phenomenal performance. And I agree
Yep.
with you. Spence and Crawford, people come to me all the time. I mean, on YouTube, I try to avoid it because I refuse to talk about the fight until it's announced.
Okay.
But out there in the street, when people come up, hey, yo, Divine, like, because a lot of people out in my circles know that I love boxing. I get asked it quite a bit. Now, my bailout answer is always, to be honest with you, I can see Crawford winning the fight, and I can see Spence winning the fight too.
Mm-hmm.
They both have a very legitimate possibility of pulling off a victory. Now, for some, I'll leave the people with this, and I'll close it with this because I got to make a move. But
Yes, sir.
I'll leave the people with this about Spence and Crawford. And I've already kind of, but once Crawford went and signed another fight, I kind of already let it go. But for the sake of conversation, I don't know why, but I feel deep down in my gut, in my soul, that if the fight happens, and at this point, I don't know. I want to be optimistic and say, all right, they have to get it done. I mean, there's no way that they shouldn't or couldn't. So I try to be optimistic about it. But until the optimism is becoming a reality, I'm going to use the word if. If the fight happens, I don't know why. I have this feeling deep inside me that it's going to be reminiscent of Hagler Hearns.
Mm.
And I have a feeling that it's going to be a second to fourth round knockout.
Yeah, that sounds
I
right.
don't know who's going to be, who's going to get knocked out and who's going to get the knockout. But I will put it to you this way. Go back, if you haven't seen the fight or it's been a while, go back and watch Hearns Hagler. And you make the comparison yourself. Don't let me do the thinking for you. You do the comparison of yourself. Who is more like Hearns and who is more like Hagler? Now, all 4 of them are all different fighters, but if you were to make the comparison, is Bud more like Hearns or Hagler? Is Spence more like Hearns or Hagler? Now, go back and watch the fight. Hearns came out of the gate like a fucking typhoon. And he jumped all over Hagler, right?
Yep.
And he stunned Hagler a few times. Hagler was like, damn. Like, Hearns wasn't playing no games. He's like, fuck this. I ain't trying to go no 12 rounds with this motherfucker. I'm going to try to knock this dude out. And it was very clear on what his intentions were. Now go and watch the fight, or if you know what happens, Hagler ends up stopping Hearns. And it's been that fight, I mean, it's probably the greatest first round in the history of boxing.
Mm.
Okay. And for me, I have a feeling that Bud and Spence is going to be reminiscent of that because of the animosity, all the shit that has been talked over the years. Somebody's going to come out and be ultra aggressive.
Yep.
And try to close the show early. And whoever that fighter is going to get caught and get knocked out.
That makes sense. That analogy makes sense because the offense is going to pressure the guy that's trying to chill. It's going to make him say, oh, you want to go like that? Let's do it. I think you might be right on that. Hey, man, you got a good YouTube channel, man. I like this, man. Hey, I'm subscribing, liking, you know what I mean? I like your objective. You know, ain't nobody really objective. You and showbiz. Showbiz pretty objective.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I love boxing. I love talking about the sport. I like to I like to preserve my energies for the right moments. You know, I don't like this clickbait shit and try to like stir up controversy and this dude ducking this and then you're like there are other channels out there that are doing just fine doing that stuff.
Yep.
There's plenty of channels out there that will give you your daily boxing fix. But for me, I come out of the grain, I come out of the woodwork when it matters the most. So yeah, everybody that came by new to the channel, if you like authentic, unbiased, objective boxing talk, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay a part of the conversation. Normally, what I'm actually most known for is commentating live fights. I wasn't able to do it tonight, just too busy. So I came in here post fight. But normally, big fights, I come on here live, give you guys live commentary, and then go right into post fight thoughts. So if you like that type of stuff, make sure you subscribe for that reason as well. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, brother.
That like button, I appreciate you immensely. Mastermind, I appreciate you coming in and chopping it up with me, making it a little bit more interesting tonight.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Y'all, I know it's late out there in the States. I'm on the other side of the world, so the sun is shining. So I know for a lot of you guys, man, if you're not out there celebrating Halloween, it's probably a bit too late and you probably need to get some shut-eye. So I'm gonna try and help you get some shut-eye, man, before it gets too out of hand. I do appreciate you guys, as I said, coming in and showing love and support. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. And the poll, by the way, finished off with 54% of the people said they thought Loma won the fight. So that's where it ends. But this is your boy Devon, man. I'm going to sign off. Y'all stay strong, stay positive out there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be safe out there for Halloween, man. Enjoy it. Have fun with the family. But be safe. That's the most important thing. I'll catch you guys on the rebound. Peace.